Hi, I'm glad that you decided to learn a little bit more about core and your primary temperament. As a primary E, you're probably a little bit skeptical about whether or not you're going to find out anything new or anything that's going to be helpful for your life. Well, over the next few minutes, I hope to help you understand a few really important things about the strengths and challenges of being an E. From your results, you've already seen that E's are motivated by improving things, and I want to explain why that is. Anytime that the e-brain is working, if it is thinking, it's thinking about how to make something better. The E naturally looks at what has happened and figures out how to make it better for the next time. The innate quest of the e-brain is a drive for excellence. You might already know this about yourself, but not necessarily recognize that it is part of your temperament. You see this through almost everything that E's think, say, or do. As an E, there are some very predictable challenges that you've probably noticed in your life, but you may not have known that they were part of your temperament and that other E's experience the same things. I want to talk about a couple of these and to help you also see how some of the predictable strengths of your E temperament can be better used to help you healthfully manage these challenges. The drive for excellence leads to one of the most predictable challenges for the E brain. E's have a very strong tendency to get stuck. E's think through things very thoroughly and settle on what they determine to be the best way to do whatever it is. At that point, nothing short of that ideal is acceptable. If an E doesn't feel like they have the resources, the time, the money, the space, the energy, or whatever else is required to do it the way that it's supposed to be done, E's will stall movement right there until they feel like they're going to be able to do it the right way. I've had clients who bought a house in very ill repair with the perfect plans of how to remodel it, and then go on to live in it for years, literally with the kitchen torn completely out, waiting for enough money to finish it the way that they had envisioned. I had another E that I worked with who literally worked on a letter she was writing to share some of her feelings with a loved one for over 2 years. She was waiting until she felt that every word was perfectly placed and for the perfect time to deliver the letter. It's extremely difficult for E's to do anything halfway, and this leads to the predictable challenge of being stuck. A second very predictable challenge for E's is another form of stuckness. As we will discuss in a few minutes, E's have a tremendous persistence and tenacity. An unhealthy side effect of their tenacity is having a very hard time knowing when it is no longer healthy to keep pursuing or working on whatever they happen to be. E's can end up beating a dead horse, as it were. This can lead E's to stay in unfulfilling jobs or unhealthy relationships way longer than is healthy. This can end up keeping you from channeling your tenacity down roads that can help you much more effectively obtain your goals and to be more healthy and happy. I spoke to someone just today who's been sitting on a business opportunity for nearly a decade while continuing to work what she said was a non lucrative business. I want you to stop and think for a moment if you've noticed these challenges in your life. If you have, are you aware that they're because of your temperament? And that is the part of you that doesn't change. Well, welcome to a little deeper insight into core. Let's talk for a few minutes about what makes core unique from any other assessment that you've taken. Have you sometimes been puzzled about why things that motivate you, or why things that pull you in, things that drive you? Have you ever tried to figure out why you were passionate about totally different things than someone else? The core temperament model has been created to answer these, as well as many other important questions. Temperament is a huge part of the answer about what makes you unique and what is different about how your brain works compared to other people. One of the biggest challenges and most important quests in life is truly learning to understand yourself. Many, if not most of us, spend the vast majority of our lives misunderstanding and devaluing who we are and what makes us unique and special. Each one of us comes into life with an unchangeable temperament. That's right. This is one of the most important things that I want you to understand. Research has consistently shown for decades that you cannot change your temperament. So it seems pretty important to understand what temperament is and what you can and what you can't change about your personality. Temperament is a set of personality traits that determines the way that we interact with and react to the world. It is the innate part within each of us that forms the underlying reasons behind why we do the things that we do and why we don't do the things that we don't do. This is one of the things that you will only get here. It's what makes this model different from any other assessment out there. It's also why temperament, in many ways, is actually more helpful to understand than just personality. Core doesn't just help you identify some interesting aspects of your personality. Core helps you identify your temperament. By understanding that, you can focus your efforts on improving the things in your life and relationships that you can do something about so that you can really begin to thrive and stop beating yourself up about the things that will never change. Your temperament and resulting personality are not broken. I've developed this model to help you really be able to understand your temperament and personality and to help you understand the important people around you. The fact is that our brains work differently depending on our core temperament. Each temperament literally is motivated by different things. That is not a choice, and by gaining a deeper and more accurate understanding of this, you can begin to better capitalize on your strengths. You can understand that not everyone thinks, feels, and behaves the same way, or for the same reasons that you do. It's my hope that understanding your core temperament will empower you to embrace who you are and to stop wishing that you were different, and to more effectively bring you to the table in your life and relationships. As you're better able to understand the why behind the behavior, feelings, and thoughts of your loved ones and others with whom you interact, you'll also be able to connect on deeper and more meaningful levels. The hurt feelings, misunderstandings, distance, and the amount of conflict in your relationships will also decrease. There's been a lot written and discussed about the importance of understanding your why. That if you can just plug into a powerful enough why, then you can unleash your potential. Well, my research indicates that the why is actually innately driven by your temperament. That seems to be one of the aspects of temperament that is most stable. Each temperament style is motivated by different whys. By learning about what naturally motivates you to do the things that you do and how that leads to unique and important contributions that you have the ability to bring to those around you, you can stop working against yourself and begin to really embrace who you are. I believe a key part of becoming healthy and happy lies in understanding who we are, the natural strengths and challenges that come with that, then learning how to fix the unhealthy or dysfunctional beliefs and wiring that is in the way of being able to appreciate, hone, and magnify your natural strengths rather than distorting them. Exactly how to do that rewiring is something that you will learn in our Healthy and Happy coaching program. We live in a society where certain personality traits or characteristics are promoted as the way to be, especially in a lot of self help literature. We're bombarded with messages communicating that there is a way to be, act, or look in order to be successful, beautiful, liked, happy, etc. Simply not true. There are certainly temperament types and personality traits that are better fits than others for given things. There are certain careers that line up really well with a given temperament type. But no one temperament is better than another, nor are any of them broken. If you're going to be healthy and feel good about yourself, then you've got to learn how to be a healthy you. I have a question for you. Now that you understand that some of the challenges that you face are related to your temperament, how is that helpful? Does it even matter? Well, hopefully, your e wheels are starting to turn, because it's at least equally as important to understand that there are very wonderful and predictable strengths that you uniquely possess as an E. In future trainings, we really delve into the strengths of your temperament. But here I want to talk about two that I would really like to highlight. And they both relate to the challenges we talked about a few minutes ago. First, as an E, you possess an abnormally persistent pursuit for quality and excellence. E's do really good work, and the quality they bring to society is one of your greatest contributions. The second strength I'd like to mention is E's perseverance. The E in core stands for exactness, meaning the E's seek out and then settle on what they believe to be the exact best way to do something. E's then possess tremendous tenacity in their pursuit to execute on that exact solution. The E has the endurance to go and go and go. My brother, who is an E, is an orthopedic hand surgeon, and he can literally operate on a single joint in the finger for over 8 hours. The other temperaments simply are not motivated in the same way that E's are to go as long and as far as is required to do something the way that they believe it should be done. Most E's don't recognize that the amount of persistence and the resulting quality that they produce is not what others necessarily value. But this is what motivates the E brain. Again, what you might not recognize is that this is part of your temperament and other people's brains don't necessarily work the same way. In the next training that I hope you'll attend, you'll find much more out about the other temperaments and how their brains work. Now that we've talked about a couple of the challenges that you likely deal with as an E and a couple of your unique strengths, I want to give you a hack or two for the predictable challenges that we've talked about. I also want to show you how some of your strengths can be utilized to effectively manage these very same challenges. One really good tool to use to help you not get stuck as frequently or for as long is to use a simple little bonus tool that I want to give you to help you move. But first, I want to point out a crucial hack for helping these that my daughter, who's a primary E, pointed out to me the other day that my research had not so clearly revealed before. One of the results of how thoroughly E's think through things is they have a very high level of confidence in the conclusions that they draw and in the ways that they think something should be done. As we've discussed, the E brain does not shift gears or change directions easily. No, if an E is going to do something, it's going to be because they believe it's the best thing to do. So, you have to really believe that a given change you're trying to make in your life is actually better than what you've been doing. Okay, so here's the tool. First, I want you to write down something that you've been avoiding starting or doing because you don't feel like you have the resources to do it perfectly yet. What changes are you trying to make? Or what are you stuck on? Number two, why have you been doing it the way that you've been doing it? Or what are you waiting for? Number three, what is the belief that has you stuck? This might simply be that you think you have to have a month off of work to do a project you want to do the way you want to do it, or that you don't want to buy a new car until you can pay cash for your dream car. Number four, why is doing it the new way actually better? This might be actually believing that doing something is really going to be better than waiting, or maybe that ended up doing nothing at all. Maybe waiting for over 2 years to share your feelings is actually hurting your relationship more than not giving the letter at the exact perfect moment. It might be reminding yourself that you aren't supposed to be good at something until you've practiced doing it over and over and over again. At any rate, you have to give yourself a valid enough reason, or your brain will utterly resist and even sabotage your efforts at change. The second tool I want to suggest is imposing deadlines. A deadline, especially if it involves someone else, is an effective tool to help get you moving. Okay, so now the fifth step or the final step on your sheet is to write down a deadline for yourself. Now I want you to put that plan somewhere you will see it very frequently: the lock screen of your phone, the bathroom mirror, side of your bed, somewhere. I want to point out a couple of things here. The irony is that in the long run, avoidance frequently leads to less overall quality than getting going sooner than you feel ready. And wanting something to be as perfect as possible is usually at the root of the things that these avoid. In this intervention, you're using your natural strengths to identify a process to help you move when you get stuck. You can use this simple tool over and over, and it will make a huge difference if you can give yourself a reason that you actually believe. Okay, now for a hack for the predictable challenge of being stuck on the other end of the continuum, allowing your persistence to keep you stuck doing something long after it is healthy to be still hanging on. There's a lot more to this tool than we have time to adequately address here, but if you end up coaching with us, we'll help you with all the ins and outs of this. You have to build some checks and balances into your life. At least quarterly, I want you to fill out this awesome life balance wheel that I also want to give to you. It's such an effective yet simple way to get a graphical snapshot of how your life is going at a given moment in time. You can then begin to dissect the reasons why whatever is out of balance is out of balance. As an E, chances will be pretty high that at least part of the reason will be that you're stuck doing things that it's time to let go of. Again, we can help you with tons and tons in the additional resources we have available to you. We've only had time to touch on a couple of the many strengths, challenges, and coping strategies for UEs. We have lots and lots more resources to help you learn how to become a healthier and happier E. If you take advantage of the resources we have, I will help you learn how to truly improve nearly every aspect of your life, relationships, and business without needing to change who you are. You are the secret ingredient to your success, and we have the information and tools to help you unlock the innate core potential that you have. If you're ready to continue your journey to become a healthier and happier E, please join us for our next core training. In this hour and a half training, you're going to come away with a much deeper understanding of yourself as you learn much more about the following. First, the things that you can and can't change about your personality. Second, your core motivators and exactly how those look in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Third, the unique contributions that E's make to society. And fourth, you're also going to begin to look under the hood of the other core temperaments as you learn what is unalterably different about how your brain works compared to other people. This information alone will permanently change the way that you parent and interact with your family and friends. The new knowledge, insight, and tools you acquire are going to dramatically clear up so many of the frustrations you have inside and help you stop fighting against yourself as you develop skills and processes to help you accelerate your rate of improvement. So click on the link below and join our next class.